What is up, everybody? Star Wars Dad back for another video. Today we're going to be looking at Qi'ra Green. So when I first started testing this deck out, I was actually having a lot of difficulty because I was kind of trying to focus more on the grit aspect at first, and I was like, well, I want to be able to use that because that makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of good grit units. And then I looked at a couple different lists that people had posted just to kind of get a baseline idea, and I tried some of those, and I just didn't think they were that good. So it just kind of like it was one of these decks where, it's a new leader, but it felt like the way I was testing it, I just wanted it to be Iden Green. Like I kept just trying to make it Iden Green when I was moving cards in and out. And I was just like, well, why don't I just play Iden Green? Because I'm not feeling this. And then what really shifted this deck for me, and this is going to sound kind of funny, is putting the client in here. The client was what I was missing for, like, because I had a few games, and in the first 3 videos, I'm playing with my first version of this deck, and I didn't have the client in there. And so what was happening was against like Boba Green and aggro, I would get really close to winning, and then they would just like ambush in a Darth Maul with Boba Green, or just um, same thing with Sabine, just like come out of nowhere with the Poe and just hit me for a bunch of damage. And it just was missing something. I put in top target for a little bit in there, but top target was just kind of hard to. I mean, top target's not bad. Don't get me wrong. It's not a bad option. It's definitely if aggro is a deck you're worried about with this deck, then I would add top target into the sideboard. But I think our sideboard is pretty solid as a starting point too, but I'll get into that later. But the client is just so good in here because it comes in shielded for one, right? So we have a good amount of removal in this deck. We have ambush effects. We have timely intervention with ECL. We have, Power of the Dark Side, make an opening takedown, Vigilance, Rivals Fall. We have Avenger. We have Darth Maul as a removal, essentially. I kind of look at Darth Maul as the third Rivals Fall that can occasionally come in and just get extra bonus damage and close the game out. But the client was just really good because it works so well with Qi'ra's ability. So I tap it, kill a thing, gain 5 life whenever I need to. Anytime things are getting a little out of control. Now, obviously, best case scenario for an aggro deck is to have like a Poe, ECL it in, take out my shield, and then kill the client, right? But even still, if Poe is focused on client, that's a good thing. If aggro in general is focused on client, that's a good thing. If client is a distraction, that's a good thing. Anytime, so that in itself is good because if you leave client alone, it's going to help me win the game. Because at any point in time, I pull a removal, I'm going to bounty client, use its effect, and kill that thing and gain 5 life. So, and then the fact that I can, if they take away its shield to try to slowly kill it or try to take it out, I'll just put a shield back on it with Qi'ra. So like it just fits so well in this deck. It was like the piece that was missing against aggro to make it not an Iden Green deck, basically. Otherwise, it was just like, I'll just play Iden Green and so I was having a little bit of difficulty with that for a while. But since I have made those changes, I also put in a couple Death Trooper. That's been nice too, because it synergizes with Qi'ra's ability for like after I flip Qi'ra. And also it's just good early game to just take out a ground unit without using a removal spell. So those 2 cards have been really nice. Client definitely, though, has been the one that's much more impactful. Hylobon Enforcer, I've had it in and out, but I like it in because I can squeeze it in as a way to squeeze in a unit, put a shield on it, and make it a 3-powered unit, which is pretty strong, like especially on turn 1. But later in the game too, like when I have like awkward resource counts and I play like a Rukh with 6 resources and ECL it in to kill a thing, I can squeeze in a Hylobon and just, things like that. Or even with 2 resources, because I can squeeze in the Hylobon and then put a shield on it and make it have 3 power. So little things like that. I originally had Phase 3 Dark Trooper in here, but that card also felt a little awkward in here because of, it's definitely nice to put a shield on it, don't get me wrong, but it just, I don't know, something about it just it wasn't. It was a little. I needed a little more um, lower cost things in here, so that's why I chose Pyke over Phase Dark Trooper. And Pyke is really good for Qi'ra early on, just to, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Qi'ra, um, by the way, but just to put that shield on it and just make it a Sentinel that you have to hit twice. Um, what else? I originally had 3 Vigilance, but I felt like 2 in the main board is fine. The other thing, okay, so I had originally had 3 Rukh in here. And Rukh is very, very good in some situations. Like Rukh just comes in, kills a Wrecker, comes in, kills a Poe. It stays alive afterwards. Obviously, it's good for Krayt Dragon. But Gideon does a few things that Rukh doesn't do. So Gideon, for one, can take out a Sabine if it hasn't been pumped up at all. That's pretty big because Sabine's going to be everywhere. Gideon allows me to start closing the game out quicker, which has always been Gideon's strong point. And it's just a 5/5, so it, with Qi'ra's ability, Gideon can come in and clean house afterwards with the ECL. If I flip Qi'ra and everything's damaged a little bit, Gideon can come in and kill things. So that's another reason. Like if say Sabine pumped on its flip turn, the next turn I flip Qi'ra, damage everything, and then ECL and Gideon to finish things off. It's also just a really good barrage target after it's out there at 5 or 6 power with barrage is 7 or 8 damage, and that's usually enough to clear the board. What else? So I think we're pretty solid in space because we're playing the make and openings. Inferno 4, I went back and forth with like 2 and 3, and I just feel like 2 is fine. 3 Consortium is definitely necessary for the aggro matchups. This also just has 3 power, and it, you ECL it in Consortium. It just, why would you not want to play 3? I think a lot of people are talking about Phantom. I keep hearing a lot of discussions about the card, and for me, I just want to have make an opening and early space units as ways to deal with it. I haven't had a problem against Phantom decks in testing because I've had those types of things to deal with it. What else? I lowered the takedown to 2. I felt like 2 was a good amount because we have a good versatile amount of removal in this deck. And then Snoke. Oh my goodness, Snoke is so sweet in this deck because you're damaging things, because you have barrage especially. But let's say you flip Qi'ra and they have a pretty wide board and you damage everything, right? And then you're using, on the Qi'ra flip turn, a lot of times the best thing to do is barrage if you're able to. Sometimes you can't because you need to do something sooner than barraging because that still takes 2 actions, and sometimes 2 actions isn't enough if your opponent is getting off to a very fast start. So that's why you have to have Rukh or Gideon in that spot as another option to come in and kill a big threat. But, when you get Snoke out there, Snoke is amazing in here. Obviously, anything with 2 or less HP just dies, but even the things that have 3 or less HP, or let's say 3 HP, right? They come in and they have 1 HP now. And then their power gets reduced to 1 or 2, typically. So Snoke just pauses the game against a lot of these aggro decks. And then there's a lot of them that just completely lose to Snoke. Snoke just is just like, hey, what are you going to do now? Every unit you play just dies. And they're just at like a, there's nothing I can do now with that card on the board. So it's very, very powerful against a lot of these decks that it just immediately kills a lot of things that come into play. A lot of these decks that are trying to go wide and play these strong space units that are 3/2s and stuff like that. Snoke's just like, yeah, no. Another really, really awesome thing with Snoke is even if they have 3 or 4 power units, they come in with 1 or 2 HP, you play Snoke into a barrage, clear the board so easily. Like you're doing 8 damage to all these 1 and 2 HP units the following turn. It's just disgusting. Like Snoke is disgusting. When you pull off a Snoke barrage turn, you'll see what I'm talking about. But Snoke in general, I mean, I knew Snoke was going to be good, but it's one of those cards that like when you actually finally play it, you're like, whoa, okay. Yeah, this card's awesome. Of course, we have. So let's kind of start with the list. I know I've kind of been all over the place, but this deck was a little challenging to figure out the right cards. But I feel like where this list is at now feels very, very strong. Since I switched this, it's just been extremely dominant in testing. Um, so like, let me walk you through real quick what I do, because I think sometimes it gets misinterpreted. So what I do when I build a deck, obviously I look to see if this deck has had any success. I see if there's any baseline lists that I can look at. I mean, I have a family. I have a full-time job. I'm a very, very busy man. So sometimes I'm looking at other people's lists. Sometimes I'm completely coming up with it on my own. But in this particular case, like I said, I looked at a few different things and they were kind of meh. Like they didn't feel that good. I didn't see anything that made me feel like, wow, this is really strong. I tested those out on force table. So I always do that. That is always what I do. I play against Sabine like 30 times because I could just get quick reps in against a deck that I know is good. It's like I play against my own lists that I think are very strong and have tested. So obviously AI is not going to make the perfect plays all the time, but it still just gives you a good feel of what that matchup is going to be like because they still have the cards in the deck. And, you know, most of the time AI makes the right call, right? I was having trouble beating Sabine with this deck. But once I switched these new cards in that I was talking about, haven't lost at all, and it's been like 30 to 5, 25 to 5, whatever. Just 25 to 10, like consistently. And that's, I mean, it's a multitude of things, but mainly the client. The client is very difficult for that deck to deal with. Testing against Boba, same thing. Since I've made the switch, just dominates Boba. We have good answers for Boba in space. I mean, make an opening, barrage. It just feels really good. So 3 Hylobon. So on turn 1, you can put a shield on it, put 2 damage, put a shield on it, make it a 3/4 with a shield. It's pretty sweet in a deck like this. We're playing just 2 timely intervention. I had that at 3 at first, but I think 2 is the right count because we have so much removal in here that we don't need the full 3 timely. And sometimes it could just be a dead card if we don't have, because we're playing 30 units, so we're not always drawing into units sometimes. So sometimes timely can be dead. So we still like it though as a card to play randomly or as a card to resource often. 2 Inferno 4. Like I said, I had 3. Went back and forth between 2 and 3, but I like 2 just because it is a unique unit, and you know later in the game it's not really a card that I want to see. It's nice early in the first 2 or 3 turns, but after that I'm like, all right, I don't really need that card most of the time. If I can squeeze it in, I squeeze it in. Pyke, again, because it's cheap and I can easily put a shield on it as a Sentinel, so a Sentinel that's cheap with a shield for 3 resources essentially is really nice to squeeze in on those turns where I have a couple extra resources, like let's say on a 5 resource turn where I'm using Power of the Dark Side, I can squeeze in a Pyke. 3 Power of the Dark Side, of course, that's just standard. 2 make an opening in the main and 1 in the side. I think any blue deck right now has to play 3 make an opening just as an answer to Phantom decks. Not that like I said, I haven't had any trouble with Phantom decks, but I've also played make an opening. So I think if you don't play make an opening, you could have a big problem and that card could just kill you. Now again, space units are a thing too as a way to deal with it. So, but the 3 make an opening in the whole, the whole deck, 2 in the main and 1 on the side has felt fine. I had 3 in here to begin with. Didn't feel like I needed it. Have enough other things to help me. 3 Consortium. I just think that with ECL, it just needs to be 3. Against aggro, sometimes they can still get off to a super fast start, and it's just a way to slow things down. Have an answer in space. It's also a good barrage target, just to gain that subtle life. 3 resupply, of course. 2 Death Trooper. I had 3 in here at one point, but I went down to 2 just because it's nice for certain situations. It's nice to finish things off after Qi'ra has flipped. It's nice just to pump up our Hylobon sometimes with grit. Just in general, it's cool to have in here. I just like it as a utility card. It's also just a good way to like kill a Katsu on you or something that my opponent plays on turn 1. So that's been really nice. Client, we talked about that a lot. Super Laser Tech. Of course, we're playing 3 as a way to ramp, 2 Vigilance in the main, 2 Takedown. A Takedown is very good in here because of Qi'ra's ability, just to being able to take a lot of things out. 2 Gideon, the 2 Rukh I spoke about, 3 Barrage, of course. The 2 Rivals Fall is definitely necessary. That was another thing that wasn't in the original list, and it felt like it just, some of those decks, like they'll just play like a, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a scenario. Just something that I can't deal with, and you know, a lot of my units couldn't deal with. And Rivals Fall, just having it in here in the deck for certain matchups is just really nice. Obviously, you know, other matchups I don't need it at all, so it's just a easy resource decision. But decks that I know they're going to have bigger units, as also just for decks that are trying to pump their leader up, like Bo-Katan or Boba, it's just a way to deal with those as well. Darth Vader, I originally had 3, but I went to the 2-1 switch, 2-1 split of Vader and Maul, and that's felt really nice. With Darth Vader, of course, we're looking for like Pyke. Sometimes we could do Pyke plus Hylobon, Death Trooper sometimes, the Client. You know, those are the things that we're looking for. And then Darth Maul is just really nice. Like I said, it's kind of like a third Rivals Fall. It can just come in and kill a big thing. It's also just a way to help us close the game out at 7 resources. 2 Super Laser Blasts. I went back and forth between 2 and 3 as well as I was trying to figure things out. But 2 feels right because we're playing 30 units in here. The 2 Snoke and the 2 Avenger. That's been really nice. The curve of the Maul Snoke Avenger has been really, really nice curve. Then we play the 3rd Make an Opening in the sideboard, the 3rd Client, and the 3rd Vigilance. Those are all coming in against aggro. The 2nd Maul is coming in against like mid-range or decks that have bigger units as kind of our, like I said, 4th Rivals Fall. 3rd Laser Blast is obviously coming in against those similar matchups like mid-range and games that are going to last longer. The 3rd Avenger is coming in against Control. The 3 Relentless are coming in against Control, and the Devastator, the one of Devastator, is coming in against Control. So that's where we are with the list. Like I said, the first 3 games are going to be a little different because I was testing some things out. The 4th game, you will see this final iteration. I think minus like there was 1 or 2 minor tweaks that I made, but in general, it was this version right here. As always, please like and subscribe. Make sure to go on to the 2,000 subscriber giveaway and post the decks that you're most excited to play, as I will be giving out prizes to 4 lucky winners once we hit 2,000 subscribers. And the way that works is I will reach out to you. If you're one of the winners, I'll do like a random number generator giveaway. And if you're one of those 4 lucky winners, I will reach out to you and you will receive one of those cards. And I'll try to give you some other things that I can give you that you might need, just to help the game grow and do my part for this cool community. But let's get into some games. All right, up against Boba Red, I feel like this is the Phantom deck. So we're going to keep this because we have a Make an Opening in our hand. Pretty awkward hand otherwise, though. But that's okay. We're going to make it work. We're going to make it work. He plays Phantom the following turn. I mean, that's a decent card. We can kill that later, though. I don't think we need a Avenger right now. We could always power the dark side. That card. I think that's fine. Get a resupply too. If he plays Phantom here, we just claim the initiative, play Make an Opening. He did. Cool. And that is why we kept that hand. Rukh is really good. 2nd Make an Opening is good. Do we need resupply? In theory, yeah, but I'm just gonna let it go, I think. I'd rather play Rukh. plays another Phantom, we play another Make an Opening. Okay, I mean that's still another card. Can't really do much here. That does take away his shield. Not that that matters because but what I really want to save this card for other things. Could also flip Qi'ra and play Barrage, which will do 6 damage. Or we can kill the Fleet Defender because it'll knock the shield off, and then we will attack into Boba after we do 4 more damage to Boba, is the idea. So we'll see if it happens here. Alright, Consortium is solid. I think we can let Laser Tech go at this point. Yeah, I think we need everything else. Consortium's not bad for different situations. I'm trying to see what else. Kind of awkward because we have the initiative here. Because I'd really like to do damage to Boba and then play Barrage, but I guess can always play Barrage next turn. Just play Rukh here, I guess. Just has like a decoy. If he plays Crate Dragon, then Rukh's a card we might want to have. Okay. Deploy, take the shield off of that. Okay. Just gonna claim the initiative so we can play Make an Opening again on Phantom. Sure. Sure. Snoke's pretty good. I think we can. I'm just gonna play Make an Opening and Consortium here. Attacking with Rukh to kill Boba I think is good. First, before we do anything, we'll take the 4 from Rukh or from Phantom here, but that's okay. Unless he pumps it up. Okay, he did not. Can ambush in the Consortium, kill the cartel. Say that was a pretty good turn. Triple Dark Raid. He gets to attack him with something. We still have Vigilance for the 7th Fleet Defender next turn to gain our life back. Okay. So far we've handled things pretty good. Okay, he just took out our... Okay, sure. Sure, man, sure. I mean, we're almost at Snoke here, so... Just, say just pop a Vigilance and heal defeat. Another Snoke, or another Defender. How many of these things has he had? That's right, it puts it back in your hand, okay. I don't think we need Inferno, we just play Snoke and do things. Yeah, he has a lot of 2 HP things, so I mean, I'm not worried about that at all. It's totally fine. Okay. We We can play Barrage, power the dark side here. We're just gonna pass. I think we're at a good spot now where we can just start holding on to what we got. How many? Why is this not dead? Oh, it will be dead. Is that all the 7th Fleet Defenders now? Because, yes, it is. I was about to say, like, I feel like I'm just seeing that card non-stop. Just claim the initiative. Snoke's doing some work right now, slowing things down. Another triple dark raid. Okay. Cool. We can, if he plays that next turn, we can just barrage it, so I'm not too worried about that. A barrage plus takedown. So we'll get rid of timely here at this point. Alrighty, good game. Pretty dominant. I mean, we did have the make-in openings for the Phantom, but I felt like overall we were just in control pretty early. Felt good. Alright, up against Bo-Katan Blue. A couple early Sentinels. Super Laser Tech is solid. So what are we gonna resource here? Laser Tech and what is the question? Like, I feel like Vader is really good in this matchup. It is a little later on. I mean, what else do we have that's later? We have our finishers are Vader, Avenger, Snoke. I hate to let the Vader go, but I mean, we're probably just gonna be playing Trooper. Yeah, I don't want to let Vader go. I think it's gonna be too important in this matchup, just based off of history of playing against this deck. We don't have any turn 1 plays though. I think Pyke or Inferno 4 are turn 1 plays. Okay. There's an Avenger, which is another incredible finisher against this deck. But let's see if we resource Avenger. Yeah, I mean, we're still 6 turns away from that, and we did get rid of our ramp, so let's just drop a Dark Trooper right now. Let our opponent make a decision. Next turn we can play either Takedown or Consortium Hylobon. Okay. Alright, Pyke isn't bad, Timely isn't bad. I like resourcing Timely though. We're just gonna play Takedown here. I think so because there's a potential that he pumps this up. I don't know. Not too worried about this thing. He could have upgrades, right? Like Devotion or something. Are we that worried about Devotion though? Plus we have Qi'ra and Snoke. Let's just see what our opponent does here. Okay. Yeah, so now we're gonna take down. That's easy choice. Keeps the pressure out of space and forces him to attack into things. I mean, Rukh is pretty sweet here. Let one Hylobon go. So now we're almost up to Vader. Okay, Mandalorian gives a shield token to that. So we can give a shield token to our boy. We can also flip Qi'ra. Flipping Qi'ra is pretty disgusting actually, because it just kills those shields. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Get rid of the shields. Yep. Qi'ra can kill that. Rukh can also kill it. I think we're just gonna let Qi'ra live. I cannot see what this says at all. So we're just gonna unfortunately have to roll with it. Yes. Okay. Well, I guess I put the shield on first. Unfortunately. Couldn't see it. But normally we're gonna attack in with and put the shield on afterwards. But I think it's okay. We have another Rukh and we have an intervention. So we'll be okay. What are we resourcing here? Probably Hylobon at this point. We're just gonna try to get our sentinels down. Okay, there's a sentinel. So we just kill it with Rukh, which is fine. We would have just lost the shield. Normally we'd still be at whatever damage. We can play a Pyke. Okay. Play a Dark Trooper. Do we want to just kill with Qi'ra, or do we want to go face? I think we're just gonna go there. Just go face. Keep the pressure on. Another Hylobon. Yeah, all these other cards are just better, so that our opponent can't catch up. We have Vader here for anything stupid like that. What is that? Darksaber. So now I think it's worth it to attack him with Qi'ra. Vader would just die immediately. I'd rather not have Vader die immediately. And I'd rather the Dark Trooper kill. Okay, he's at 6 health. So now it's just worth attacking him with Rukh still to do 3. Yeah. Okay, well let's try to delay the inevitable of Vader coming out. I mean, just whatever. Okay, now we're just gonna play Vader. It's fine. He spent a lot of resources to get that out, so it's worth it to get it off the field. And now at this point, I think I just want to hold everything. We're not in a rush to like get to 8 or 9 resources. We're in a pretty good spot, so. Okay, there's a card. There's a card. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to hold on to everything, because it makes our decisions kind of, yeah, I think we're just go ahead and play Consortium as another card. I think we can like go the second Consortium here. Barrage is pretty good in this spot. Okay. We can ambush in Rukh. So now that I don't know why that thing is messing up. There's the shield that we were hoping for. Okay. Go in, and pass. And a very strong performance from Qi'ra. And good game. was very methodical. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to mulligan here. I mean, Dark Trooper is a turn 2 play, but then what are we doing after that, you know? Definitely, if we don't mulligan, we're getting rid of 1 Rukh, 1 Super Laser Blast. Alright. I mean, I don't know if I want to get rid of Super Laser Blast, to be honest. One Rukh. I mean, the resupply, I mean, it's nice. I like the Super Laser Blast in case things get out of hand if we're, you know, at that point. But that means we probably got to commit to the resupply play, which allows us to play Rukh a turn sooner, which isn't bad, but I mean, I think we're just gonna have to roll the dice. This is a risky hand to keep. It feels kind of, I don't know how to, okay, he didn't do anything. So that's good. Avenger is great, but that's 7 turns away, so we're gonna have to let that go, unfortunately. Because he didn't do anything here, I might just resupply. Take a turn to ramp a little bit. Ramps into Qi'ra a turn earlier, and then just, we'll see, okay. Cool. Okay, he played the Fleet Defender, that's not a problem. Okay, I think we can let the 3rd Rukh go. We're at 5 resources. Alright, we have takedown, we have Rukh. Don't have any space units. He's not flipping Boba unless he plays resupply. So we can just take our chances, I guess, because we are at 5. Because if he plays a unit that we want to deal damage to, then we can. I mean, with Boba, you always just want to keep their units off the board as much as possible, so they can't surprise strike. Because any unit is potentially a 6 power unit, right? So he's not doing anything, so we'll just deploy. Because he has Zuckuss as a play, we're just gonna kill this, I think. Right? Yeah. Again, keeping the damage, keeping their units off the board. We still have ECL Rukh for the Zuckuss. Top target's good. I think we can let that go. Okay, Boba. Could just play double Dark Troopers here. I think it's a good time to do that, since our opponent's not doing anything crazy yet. It forces Boba leader to take some damage. Okay, well there's that. That's okay though. See, this is what I was talking about, where I didn't really want to get rid of the Super Laser Blast. Vader can come in and do 5. Pyke. So we could play... I mean, go face Dark Trooper to face. Okay, Boba can kill it without taking a damage now. We're gonna take 6 from this Boba. Could ambush in and take some, put some damage on that and play another Sentinel. We could kill with Rukh. Vader at least sets us up for a knockout on that. Sure. Yeah, get in some damage. Allows us to take down next turn, so that's fine. Okay. I'm okay with that. Not that part. So I'm really wanting that Super Laser Blast. Oh my goodness. By the beard of Zeus. Alrighty, well that was nice. That was a nice draw. Wish we could squeeze in that top target, but we don't have time. So next... So we play the Laser Blast, the next turn we could do Takedown plus Rukh. We don't want to get rid of Barrage, it's too important. I really don't want to get rid of the top target either, but unfortunately that is our best. Barrage is useless without a unit. We could Barrage here. What does that do? Going 7, so it doesn't do enough. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna let go of the Barrage. It feels like a giant risk, but I don't really have a choice here. Gotta have a unit for Barrage to be worth anything. Top target is useful too, so we don't lose our life total. That was our only Super Laser Blast, because we resourced the other one, because we keep getting all these expensive cards really early. Alright, that's fine. We can kill that with Rukh, as we had not used ECL yet. Okay, we did draw into the Barrage. We also got a Consortium. Okay. I think we're just gonna Barrage onto a Fet's Fire Spray. Doesn't kill it, but it sets up things. Choose a card to resource. Okay, let's just take our chances. We might play Consortium this turn. We might just play that, yeah. Alright, so unfortunately we have to put the shield on Rukh first, so that it survives. I cannot see what any of these things says. May have to undo. Can't see shield trigger. I'm gonna try it this way. Okay, we survived. Cool. Alright, we have a takedown for anything small. Cool. Alright, he's ECLing something. Okay. Claim the initiative. Avenger would be really nice right now. That is not Avenger, but that is a takedown. Okay, we're just gonna hold on all this stuff. Pass again. Alright, we're kind of in a place where we have to keep just playing our removal spells. Yeah, I was hoping he didn't have that. That's the card I was worried about. We don't have any more Super Laser Blasts, so at this point, power the dark side, because I don't think we've used that card at all. And I mean, we don't want him swinging for 7 or 10 damage with Maul. Maul is so good in that deck. Vigilance is solid. None of this stuff kills him, though. Vader's gonna die. He has Overwhelm. We've used how many Sentinels? 2? I mean, at least it sets up the make an opening play. Or the top target play. Because if we attack him for 5, he swings in for 7. Hopefully we find a Pyke or a Dark Trooper. ideally, we are at 27 cards, so there's a good chance of that. Do we find a Pyke at least, which would kill him? He would still get him for 4, but then we could play top target or make an opening, either one. I feel like Consortium is the least helpful card right now, just because they have 7th Fleet Defender and things like that, and Fet's Fire Spray that can just take it out. So, all right, we got to do this. Of course, it's Superlaser Tech. All right, he swings in for 7, which sucks. Probably 10. Okay, just 7. All right, so we can play Vigilance. We can play top target. If he just claims initiative here, which he did not, we were gonna lose. I should have played make an opening there actually, but it's all right. It worked out. We got lucky. Got lucky there. Barrage? What does Barrage do? Does Barrage do anything here? Barrage isn't bad. Ouch. Fet's Fire Spray. Okay. So Barrage does 4, so we could kill Maul, Greedo. Avenger's nice. Okay. Could play Vigilance to gain like 10 life, and then play make an opening or Barrage. We could play Barrage to kill things. Okay. So play Vigilance first. He definitely should have just claimed initiative. I mean, I would have not done that in real life. That was a huge. Okay, we take 5. We can play, make an opening here. Makes it -2, -2. Okay. So that we can. Okay. Just claim the initiative. Alright. Okay. Ouch. Super wide. Well, Snoke is a very good draw here. Snoke just does some work for us. And then we can make an opening. The thing that we're most worried about, which is probably Greedo. Okay. Nice. Snoke, man. Oof. Sometimes Snoke just, you gotta love that card. Okay. Take that all day. Alright, claim the initiative. We can barrage and kill a lot of these things, which I think is smart. We'll just go here and here. We're doing 8 damage. Actually, we can kill everything, right? Alright, strafing gunship 2. Sandy blood 4. 2. Nice. Snoke with barrage is absolutely disgusting. Yeah, good game. He said this is lame. Sorry, man. I didn't feel like it was lame. That top target play. I mean, he did make a misplay. But yeah, I should have thought that through more. Definitely just not let him claim the initiative when he was at 18. Good game though, good game. Alright, up against Tarkin yellow here. I think we're gonna have to mulligan that. That's a weird hand. Okay, it's a little better. Client and Superlaser Tech are solid. Probably get rid of Blessed and let Rivals fall. Just because we have 2 early removals. Power of the Dark Side's good if they try to like pump this thing up. kind of want to keep Snoke because I feel like that could be useful later. Just slow things down as much as we can. Okay, we're gonna claim initiative while attacking. Okay. Making openings good because they probably have the Phantom. We're gonna be at 4 resources here. I think it's this unit deals combat damage before the defender. It says while attacking though, so that should kill it, right? Doesn't say while defending. I don't know. Yeesh. What are our resources here? Snoke is really good. I think we're gonna have to let laser tech go. Just gonna what does this flip? 5. This is 7. Let's play takedown. Okay. Well, that gives us a good super laser tech target, but not anymore. Darth Maul solid. I don't want to get rid of that either. Could ambush him with client, which is an interesting decision. I don't know. Really don't want to get rid of make an opening because they probably have the Phantom. Could just Qi'ra into barrage here, which seems pretty good. We're almost at the Maul. They haven't put any damage, and maybe we'd let client go. Does that seem like a good idea? I guess. The fact that they didn't put any damage down makes me feel okay about that. Let's just power the dark side here again. He deploys Tarkin, then we see what he does first. I mean, Maul's gonna be pretty huge too. Okay, phase Dark Trooper. Yeah, we might as well. Kill the trooper, then we go up to 7 damage. Okay. Okay, then now we can't because of that, so we'll just claim the initiative. So that we can barrage next turn. Okay, cool. Alright, we don't need 2 consortiums. Okay, barrage. Alright, we're gonna do 4 to Dark Trooper and 2 to Grand Tarkin. Okay. Definitely gonna swing into the Tarkin here. Yep, there's the Phantom as expected. I figured that was going to happen. He can't use the thing this turn. He can play another card. We will claim the initiative. We will make an opening on his Phantom. Okay, we're at 7. Make an opening. Plus Consortium, yeah. Yeah, and we'll be at Snoke next turn, which is going to be pretty huge. Get rid of Phantom. Pyke can now ambush things, which is definitely a thing. I think we're in pretty good shape though at the moment. Darth Maul for anything big, Snoke to get a lot of these weaker units just to die, which is good against this type of deck where they're trying to pump everything up with counters and go wide. Snoke's been really, really strong. It's been, I mean, as expected, but I think when you play it, you start to feel how strong it is. Everybody thinks like Phantom's invincible. It's not. Okay. So back for the post-game wrap-up. So the original list went 3-2 with 2 last-minute losses. The 2 losses were where I was about to win, and then they ambushed and won with Boba Green and Sabine Green. Since then, the deck has gone 3-0. Just been very, very strong, and it's been like dominant, not like close matchups, just completely dominant. So it's felt a lot better. I think the changes that I made after early testing have really made a difference. Like I said, client has just been really huge in testing. I do think it just fits into this deck so well, and just the ability to bounty things so often, and client being difficult to kill for the matchups that you need it for. Obviously against blue, client's just going to die. So, but not like we need client for blue most of the time anyways. Most blue matchups at least. Or at least the control ones. Other cards that really stood out to me, I really like the Gideon Rukh combo of being versatile and having one or the other in different matchups. They both have their strengths, and it's just nice to have them both in here. Gideon obviously helps you close the game out. Rukh just helps you to deal with big things. I really liked the Rival's Fall. I liked the 1-0 Maul. That felt nice too, as another way to close the game out a little quicker. Snoke was absolutely amazing. I think I played Snoke in almost every single game, and every single time it came down, it was just like devastating for my opponents. Even the games where I had lost 2 times, my opponents, it really halted them. The thing that saved them was getting like a Rebel Assault or the Darth Maul ambush on a Pyke or something like that. Just things like that like were the perfect card to have. So, but yeah, I really like this deck. I think Qi'ra is a very strong deck. I'm sure it's going to do well in a lot of these tournaments. Its ability to flip things, on the flip turn and play a barrage is really, really strong. Just to kind of hit the board for 6 damage. Just, really nice. I also like the, using Vigilance to put a shield on it is sweet occasionally when that comes up. But super fun deck. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and the gameplay. But y'all have a good one, and peace out.